You can waste a lot of time and money if you go to the wrong attractions here in Vegas. I recently asked people what is the biggest waste of time and the most overrated things in Vegas. Some of the answers I agree with, some of them I don't, but one of the top answers is one that I totally agree with, and it's right behind me. It's the show Ka. This might surprise a lot of people because it's one of the top rated shows in all of Vegas, but it's really polarizing because it's, well, in my opinion, ridiculously boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, parts of it has some really cool acrobatics and the set design is amazing. But the majority of the time, I equate it to a silent play. They're just running around on stage, frolicking and dancing with no action going on whatsoever. One person wrote, "This was the worst show I've ever seen in Vegas. Don't waste your money. The first 45 minutes are boring and include two guys sitting on stage actually making bunny hand puppets on screen. If you want to take an hour-and-a-half nap, this is the perfect show." But everyone's gonna like different things in Vegas, and there's shows for every type of taste. So just pick a show that's gonna suit what you like to do, and don't pay too much attention to other people's reviews. But I'd say if you think you'd enjoy a silent play, Ka might be for you. Otherwise, you might want to skip it. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Seven Magic Mountains. Seven Magic Mountains is an art sculpture that they put in on the drive from California over to Vegas. It's just a bunch of rocks that are stacked on top of each other and then painted different colors. I think if you're gonna make the drive from California anyway, maybe it's worth stopping, maybe, but it's not some big extravagant exhibition that you need to rent a car and go make a special trip for. But it is only a 25-minute drive from the Strip, so if you're really into your Instagram or really into photography or art, maybe it's worth going, but otherwise I would definitely skip the Seven Magic Mountains. Good, thank you. Another one people mentioned a lot is here in the Link Promenade where I'm at is the High Roller. The High Roller is the highest observation wheel in the entire world. I think the problem with the High Roller is just people's expectations with it. It's the highest observation wheel, not the highest thrill ride. It goes around really slowly. So slowly, in fact, you don't even really feel it moving. You're simply just paying to get a good view. If paying for a view isn't your thing, it's probably gonna be a huge waste of time for you. One tip though, is I would definitely only do the High Roller at night. Another one that a lot of people brought up was the West Rim of the Grand Canyon. And this one I completely agree with. Not the Grand Canyon as a whole, the West Rim of it. There's two main places people go to the Grand Canyon from Vegas, the West Rim and the South Rim. The South Rim is everything that you picture about the Grand Canyon. It's that picturesque view down over the canyon into the Colorado River. The problem though is it's about a 4.5-hour drive. So people think that they can cut some time off and go to the West Rim. The West Rim's about half as far. The problem is though, it's not a national park. It's part of a Native American reservation and it's kind of a cash grab for it. It's focused more on the Native American heritage and not so much the canyon itself. And most of it is just like any other park that you'd find around Las Vegas and not the Grand Canyon. The actual canyon itself is roped off and you can't even get close to it. Both the West Rim and the South Rim have a skywalk, but at the West Rim it's way more money, and the West Rim you're not allowed to stop walking or take pictures on it. Overall, I've just never heard anyone say they were happy after going to the West Rim. Next we have these yardstick frozen drinks. These are like a rite of passage for anyone new to Vegas. The problem is though, is there's so much liquid here. So they end up just completely filling your stomach with liquid and sugar, making you feel sick, while not even getting you drunk. They're also ridiculously expensive. This was $34 plus tip. I always feel sick after drinking one of these. Pretty much everybody I know agrees with me on that, and we always regret buying one after we get one. But then we always end up buying another one the next trip anyway. Next we have the Gondola Rides in the Venetian. I think the biggest complaint about this is just the price. It's $39 per person, which means you pay $78 for a couple. And then it's just a short boat ride around an indoor pond, and the operators sing some Italian songs. One person said, "You'll be extremely disappointed at how short the ride is. It's like floating around an indoor kiddie wading pool. Then you feel obligated to buy pictures, add another $29 for that. Don't forget to tip the gondolier another $10 to $20. Not ever again." Another person said, "An electric boat in a pool, riding through a mall. Enough said." We've done it a couple times and it's really cheesy, but we actually really like it. Yeah, it's cheesy and it's totally overpriced, but it just comes down to how attached are you to $78? If you're on a super tight budget, I would definitely skip over the gondola rides. Now I'm in front of the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. This is the pawn shop that Pawn Stars was filmed in. It's kind of the epitome of a time waste in Vegas. For starters, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's halfway in between the Strip and Fremont Street. The shop itself is way smaller than it looks on TV, and everything's really overpriced in there. And then what little floor space they did have, they converted to a gift shop for the show. On top of that, you're pretty much guaranteed to not see anybody from the show. If you do want to see somebody from the show, right across the parking lot, Rick has a barbecue restaurant and Chumley has a candy store. You're way more likely to see them in there than in the shop. In fact, most of the show was not filmed here. They made a set that looks like this shop. Just go to a pawn store in your hometown. It'll probably be just about as exciting. The next one we've got is the top of the Eiffel Tower. You go up an elevator and step out onto what's basically a little metal cage. I really like doing it because I have this YouTube channel, and it's a great way to get shots of the city that I've otherwise no other way to get. But I think otherwise I'd agree with everybody, it's not super exciting. It really just comes down to if you want to pay to get a view of the city. If you want to get a great free view of the city, you should check out this video here. It's about what I think is one of the biggest hidden gems anywhere on the Strip. Before your next Vegas trip, get educated. Thanks for watching.